with like the earlier thing, you're like, oh, here's a free shirt, here's a free T-shirt, here's a free CD, here's a free, saying whatever, just something to keep your attention and stick in your mind past that initial point of engagement. You're a little blurry right now.
I am? That's weird.
Yeah.
Did you get in focus or anything?
Yeah, it's clear again. Okay,
cool. My camera's been weird like that. My camera doesn't want, it's like, sit still.
You said it's a webcam, or you're using like a DSLR or
it's a webcam. It's a Logitech thing, because I googled what webcams you recommend, and people said good things about this one, and I was like, all right, do it. Well, I don't know when the pandemic's going to end, so let's do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, again, that's why I felt it was pertinent to like get the new gear that I got, like the new camera and everything, because I'm just like, I don't know how long this shit's gonna last, but it's like, obviously, if I have to create stuff digitally, then it's like, hey, then that's what it is.
I feel like when because I follow a lot of people on Instagram that are all for representation and all for shopping small, and so whenever someone makes me a list, because I am tired, I'm exhausted. I work at the warehouse, and I'm a creative, and so whenever someone can make it convenient for me, like here's a list of books you should read, here's a list of restaurants you should frequent, here's a list of websites that are gonna here's a list of musicians that you should listen to, and even checking out their YouTube will give them some money. I'm like, all right, let's do it. I'm all for that. The more that you can make it convenient for me, because I'm eager to find new creatives to support.
Yes.
I just share it on your Instagram story, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook. Just give me a link and I'll be there. I just need the link.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's something that I think that and I definitely feel kind of called out in that respect. Not that you're calling me out, but I'm like in my mind I'm like, you know what? I've because you follow my stuff. I've very much when I'm not posting about like current events and shit like that, I'm very much you went blurry again.
Great.
But when I'm not posting about like something else that's going on, some derivative content, then I'm usually just posting my own shit. And it's like, yeah, that's great on me to like be promoting and pushing my stuff. But I also realize that I'm like, damn, I'm not pushing a lot of other people, you know what I'm saying, who I also would want to be, discovered. And part of that I will say is a frustration. Like, you've been good about getting back to me and having that contact and keeping up with one another. But a lot of other people, especially those that are creative, it's been really frustrating. They don't want you to be, it's not enough to just be friends and be friendly with them. They want you to also be fans of their art, or they don't really want to fuck with you. It's like you need to be a fan and a friend. And it's like, first of all, there's plenty of dilemmas that come with that, with trying to keep that dynamic and whatnot. But then even beyond that, it's like, why can't we just do, why is it that I can't just be like, hey, I don't really necessarily maybe fuck with your art necessarily, but I will promote it, and you can also promote my stuff, because there may be somebody in your feed that does really enjoy this stuff and will become a new fan in the same way that I've, discovered other stuff, through you and everything. Like a lot of my friends, I'm not necessarily big fans. I don't necessarily consume their art per se, but I do, like, I want to do interviews with them, talk about them. I want people to know who they are and everything, because you never know who's going to get roped into your shit, Do you Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I've got friends, even folks I interviewed for my podcast. Where Question Crunch, by the way.
Question Crunch, that's right. Yeah.
I know people who make jewelry. I don't buy jewelry, but I know people who do. So why not share my friend? Or just I'm not gonna buy anything, because who would I buy it for? I don't have anyone to buy it for. They're like, oh, well, buy it for your mom. It's like, yeah, but I don't think she's gonna like Mickey Mouse jewelry. She's not that big of a fan of Mickey Mouse. But
she's not looking for that Mickey Mouse drip.
But I do know a lot of Disney nerds who will like your stuff. So let me just get your name out there, because there's customers out there, even if I'm not one.
Exactly. And then I guess like one more thing is, have you felt? So it's like, even though I do music and I'm making a podcast and I do like the photo art type shit, I've also had this, like earlier with the whole pandemic thing, in that just as I have not wanted to create, I haven't had the same, passion to create, mainly for music. I haven't had the same passion to create music and whatnot during this shit. I've also noticed that, and even years prior too, that I also was not discovering music at the same rate, stuff that I really cared about and was passionate about, and that I felt was and was something that was actually new. Now, part of that is, getting more busy with other. Part of it is that busy factor of just getting caught up with other shit. But then also, like I'll listen to like Fantano, right, or other music reviewers, and sometimes I will listen to the actual music, but so oftentimes, like, I'll just listen to them talk about it, whatnot, and whether they give glowing reviews or negative reviews, I'm kind of like, okay, that's cool to get what kind of the vibe, was about, and then I just kind of move on without even looking towards it. Have you felt any sort of fatigue in how you're discovering, or at least how you're consuming, or how passionate you are about searching out new stuff and finding new shit that keeps your interest?
I don't know. I honestly don't know how to answer that question, just because okay. I know a lot of people who delete Facebook or delete Instagram because they say that, oh, it's too dramatic, it's too toxic, I don't want to be a part of this, it's just too negative. I've curated my Facebook and Instagram and social media in a way that most of the people I follow will supply new people for me, or like they will introduce me to new people. So, or they'll introduce me to outlets that I did not know that could introduce me to new people, where it's you just have to know how to work social media. For example, like I'll see an artist for the Mascot March that I'm working on right now on Instagram. That's an artist. The artist made the art challenge, and she is an independent artist. I would give you the Instagram handle, but I can't remember. Kimberland Art. Amazing artist. I love her work. And I want to do the art challenge because I like supporting anyone's artistic endeavor. And a lot of times, if I use the right hashtags, like I used Lucky Charms today, and the Lucky Charms Twitter liked my liked my tweet, and it got more recognition, more people that saw it. And I feel like it doesn't feel fatigued, because with the art challenges, I don't necessarily have to finish them. It's just the idea that I put any amount of effort in it whatsoever, and I feel a lot of times what can be tiresome, what can be exhaustion, is the expectations or the intimidation that comes with either being a good fan or finishing an art challenge, where it's just like, if you're not getting paid, you don't have to finish. It's a project. It's an activity. You volunteered for it. Don't worry if you can't finish it. It's fine. It's not. It's supposed to be fun. Looking for art should be fun.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Ultimately, we are all, like, anybody who considers themselves an artist, or if you just indulge in art, it's because you enjoy it. It brings a certain amount of happiness in everything. And, it's very easy to get, cross that line, usually as a creator, when other priorities become more important, like, increasing the fan base, or making sure people approve of this, or making sure I'm getting a proper rate for what I'm doing and whatnot. And those things are important and everything. But it's like, ultimately, you never want to lose that pleasure that you get from it. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it literally just becomes like any other job, And go ahead.
I've told people with the Mascot March, because I keep bringing it up because it's really on my mind right now.
Nothing wrong with that.
I look for what inspires me, because when I looked up Snap Crackle and Pop for Rice Krispies, I could easily draw their current look, or the 90s look that I'm more familiar with, but that's boring. I don't find any inspiration behind it. So I looked up, I will either look up original designs, or I'll look up old commercials, because you never know what's going to inspire you to make the art. And it's been a lot of fun. Like,